Mystery flash sale alert. Look at that. Where are we now? Hello.
Hello, everyone.
How is everybody doing this windy day? I hope good. It's hard to believe it's almost the end of September.
I know. Let us know how you guys are doing today once you get on. And it's Prize Day.
Yes.
Craft Along Day.
Craft Along Day, yes.
Prize Day, Flash Sale Day. You know.
We got lots going on.
All of it today.
So we might as well start by talking about the flash sale. Yay! Who doesn't love a flash sale, right? So how it's going to work is today and tomorrow, this is available. So you buy gift cards and then you get free gift cards.
Yeah.
So on our Facebook page, I did post the increments, but can I show this quick? Which way? This way? All right. Okay, so
Well, thank you for catching us on your break, Laura. Hi, Dagny.
So you spend $50, you get $5 free. You spend $75 or buy a $75 gift card, $10 free. I'm pretty sure you guys can figure the rest out. And you can use the cards right away. You can split them. You can share the wealth, or you can hoard it all for yourself. Whatever works. If you live out of town, just call us. We can ring this through the till. You can pay with your Visa or MasterCard or whatever over the phone. And we can either give you the gift card code for shopping online, or we can keep it here in store and you can pick it up the next time you are in. So, flash sale. I know my finger covers the amount, but why wouldn't you want to just buy a gift certificate and get free money that you're going to be spending anyway? And it can be used for purchases, classes, whatever, however you want to spend it.
So we have, hi, Lori. Hi, Linda. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for joining us today.
Wow. Love the colors of the paper.
Dagny.
Oh.
Yeah. I know April did good. Are we surprised? I'm not.
Awesome. I'm excited for the craft along. So we have a few things to just go over quickly, and then we will get to that craft along. Yes, it is such a windy day. I have I have most of my signs out for my election campaign, and I'm very scared that they're going to be in pieces by the time the day is over.
Be in pieces, but they might be facing downwards.
Yeah, well, some of them might be, yeah. They might be, but that's okay. So the flash sale. So I hope everybody gets in on that because that's a huge savings. Like I said, it's posted on our Facebook page.
And that's today and tomorrow.
Yep, and it should also be on our Instagram account as well. But if you need a reminder, if you need hey, I can't remember the amounts, just give us a comment or email,
send us a message,
and we will get back to you on that. So
what else we got?
A couple things coming up. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about October, and then we'll come back around to some classes. So, big thing happening in October, of course, is our 4th anniversary. Wow.
Yay, that's so exciting.
When I first opened up, I never expected to be 4 years.
It doesn't feel like 4 years either.
Gone very fast, but it's been very amazing. So on Saturday, October 15th, we are going to have our 4th anniversary sale. I haven't figured out all the details, but of course there'll be big sales.
Lots of sales, probably prizes if I know
Lots
April.
of prizes, and a new little twist this year. So we have a new team member that has joined us, Elizabeth, and she is designing a mascot for the store. I'm going to keep it secret for a couple more weeks, but we're going to have a hide and seek on our anniversary day.
Ooh, hide and seek.
And so we're going to have our little mascots, some little ones hidden around the store. And when you're in here shopping, if you happen to find one, you might get to pick something special.
Ooh, I like that.
So that'll be our new little trick this year, our new little treat is to have our little mascot making her, haven't figured that out yet, debut on the 4th anniversary day. So just make sure that you're staying tuned for that and that you're checking in on our pages and things, our social media, because we'll have a lot more for that. But mark it in your calendar because you know it's going to be great.
The 15th.
Yes.
1-5.
Our anniversary days are always amazing, right? We make sure to treat our customers good on those days.
Dagny, I get what you're saying, even with your typing issues, it's okay.
And then secondly, in October, we're going to switch things around a little bit because we kind of didn't have mini retreats for like 6 months probably. Hey, it was a long time without mini retreats, and I know how many love those times. So we're going to switch it around for October a little bit, and we're going to have open craft Saturdays. So it's going to be kind of like the mini retreat where you can come the whole day 10 to 5, so within our regular hours. But $5, you get 4 feet of the table, and you can come every single Saturday. We're going to have that $5. You can come and get your 4 feet worth of space, and you can mini retreat it the whole month. So that's going to be one thing different that we're going to be doing in October.
So can they come on the 15th and have the open?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
Dagny, you can come.
Yep.
It's a little bit different than the mini retreat because it is just, like you said,
Yep.
the 10 to 5.
Yep.
But yes, we'll have the tables open. We'll
Yep.
try not to cover them so much.
If you guys seen the tables right now, you'd be cringing.
I will clear my section off. Hopefully.
Oh, we've got so much new product. Maybe next week we'll do a new product.
Ooh, we
thing
have
again.
lots of new
We
Christmas
have
products still
lots
trickling in
and
too, so we'll
lots,
have to do another Christmas reveal.
Yes. So another couple things really quick. Sam's having her mystery Christmas card. So for any of you that took her mystery album class, it's kind of similar to that where you just sort of randomly cut your pages and you make your cards from that. So that'll be on November 12th from 3 to 5 and it's $25 and you make, I think it's 12 cards.
12 cards.
Yeah.
She has them hanging up in the store if you want to see them in person. They're gorgeous.
She's made a post about it already.
Yes.
So check our pages out for that. And of course, we'll have more on it too. But if you're interested, like 12 Christmas cards in no time at all, that's huge.
Yes.
So, and she wanted to schedule it early enough so that people had time to get them made and get them sent
Mail
out,
them out.
right? And then I should have mentioned mine sooner, but can you just pass me those?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a class. It's going to be on October 23rd on a Sunday, for the whole day, 11 to 3, and we are going to do a thing called a master board. I don't know if anybody that does junk journals or anything like that is familiar with a master board, but usually what you do is you take like a chunk of cardboard, not chipboard, or like, is that chipboard? Yeah. Not chipboard, but like cereal box kind of cardboard, so it's thicker but not too thick. And anyway, you take a chunk and then you just mess.
Fun. You have fun with
just put pieces of napkin, and I have some music sheets, and I have some different book pages, and we have some cardstock, and we just decoupage it on there, let it dry. Then you can stamp, you can stencil, you can like just
anything you want.
pretty it up however you want. I actually was going to use some Transformees on mine, and then I completely forgot because I was distracted yesterday. And then once your masterboard is dry, you can cut it. And I made all of these tags.
Out of just the one sheet. Hi, Dorinda. Thank you for
out of
joining us.
the one sheet. So here's the bigger tags that I cut out. And they're just, these I didn't have cardboard with me, so I just used like a paper bag, so they're a little bit thinner. But it was just because I didn't have them that day. So this class is going to be on October 23rd, which is a Sunday. You get to make all of these. You can cut out whatever shape, and you don't even have to cut it out here because it might not quite be dry by then. But just so that you know the whole technique, and that you just spend a few fun hours playing around and getting glue on your fingers, and then you have this this piece of artwork that you can cut into tags, you can cut into labels, you can cut into pockets for your journals and your different things.
It's a great way to start mixed media if you don't know where to start mixed media.
So that is going to be only $15 for that class, and then you just get to come and spend the day with me.
And play around, and it'll be fun.
All right. And then the only other couple quick things is our advent calendars. We're going to have a kids one again.
Yep.
And an adult one, of course, like we have the last few years. We're going to do it on a pre-sale basis so that we know how many we need. And the pre-sale is going to start November 1st.
Yes.
It's going to close on November 25th. Or maybe it'll close a little bit earlier because they'll be
I had to have time to get them all made,
Yeah.
for at least the kid ones anyway.
so maybe it might close earlier. But November 1st, mark that day down because
dag me.
because we want to pre-sale these so we know how many.
Oh,
and
that might be for this.
I don't know that I even have all the stuff yet, but let me tell you, I've been collecting since last Christmas, so I have quite a few goodies for this
Because
one.
I open a
So-
box and I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of those. That must be for the advent calendar. And I'm like,
So now the craft along. We should
all right,
get
we
on
should get on it.
hey?
We might go a little bit over. Sorry, ladies. Get your kits out.
Yes, Dorinda, the tags are gorgeous. You should come to the class because it's super easy, no stress, easy going. All you're doing is ripping stuff apart
Yep,
and gluing
and
it
gluing
down.
it down.
And it's just a nice kind of a technique to learn.
Should we show the prize first or after?
Oh, yes, the
We forgot.
prize.
Today is prize day. So all you ladies who've been commenting every Saturday, we have, so you can see that we have the folder again. Mm-hmm. There is 2 different Southern Ridge, my camera.
I know.
Southern Ridge chipboards. One says shine bright like diamonds, and then this other one is just other different words on there.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's glue. There's some chipboard pieces, and then a sheet of different transfer me's.
I think that one's a cut apart, isn't it? Yeah, that's
Oh, cut apart. Sorry, not transfer me. Cut apart.
Yeah, and you get
But still
2
really
sheets.
fun.
Yeah.
2 sheets in there. Dagny loves messy crafting.
Yes, well, the master board is definitely a messy craft, but it's so just relaxing, no stress, and it's just, I find it a great technique to sort of concentrate on one thing, but it reaps a lot of things, so that's nice.
Yeah, so we'll draw this name for this prize after the craft along. So if you have your kits, get them out, have your supplies out, we're gonna get started.
Was everybody able to find the supplies needed? I hope so. I mean, of course, as everything, you can kind of make it work no matter what, but. All right, let's switch so I can talk a little bit about this.
All right.
So, this is the craft along today. We're going to be doing these 2 scrapbook pages. Make sure I have them up far enough for you to see. So 1 and 2. Jennifer was just telling me they couldn't find these last week.
So you guys
to show
bought some of them
everybody.
blindly.
So everybody just sort of blind, and then I didn't even have the pictures in there or the supply list or anything. So I chose to do mine like this, where the rips are to the inside of the book. You do not have to do that. That's, again, total preference, but that's just how I thought I liked it. So you might be wondering what the whole premise of this craft along is. And what my thought process is that I have these 2 patterned paper that I just totally loved. Totally loved. I thought they were just beautiful. But they don't really work well together. If I was going to pick papers for pages, I for sure would not have picked these 2 papers to be side by side. So, how did I combat that? I inked it. And so what I did was I found inks that were similar colors. So for this one, I picked Bundled Sage. And then for this one, I picked my favorite ink. My favorite ink that I always use, my favorite color that I always use for everything, Pumice Stone.
I'm pretty sure you picked both of those colors.
I do actually pick them quite a bit. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to get these pages out, and then you're going to ink. So but you ink opposite.
Ooh, so switch those colors around.
Yes. So the Bundled Sage actually goes on the black one, and you can't really see it that well because of course I put my pictures on, but let me see if you can see here. So in this bottom corner, if I compare, can you see how green that flower is on the one that I inked compared to actually how it starts out? So by inking those flowers with Bundled Sage, you mimic the same color that's in this other paper, right?
That's a great way to make papers match without having to be matching to start with.
So I'm just gonna, of course, take my trimmer quick. Should have had this done, but that's okay. And I'm just gonna take my zip strips off so that we have our 12 by 12s. because I don't want to ink and then have to cut this. I want to have nice clean inking. So any ink any blending tool will work. I just use my standard one because I'm inking quite a bit. These are fine to work with. So I'm going to do this one first because I feel like it has the most bang. And honestly, you just ink up, and I just circled around. Sorry if my table shakes. And let me know, you guys, if I go too fast, too slow. If you have any questions while I'm doing this, just let me know.
And remember, we are about 45 seconds ahead of you guys, so be specific in your questions because we don't always know.
And I know that all of us who are crafting and scrapbooking, we all have those papers that, you know, were left over in a pack, or maybe we didn't quite like them the way they were. So, you know, we haven't used them and they're just sort of stacking up.
I just love the way that ink is going on there and just transforming that. It's beautiful.
So I wanted to devise a way that you could use random papers from different packs and have them match up. Now, of course, in saying that, I'm sure that I lucked out with getting this one because of it has these white flowers on it. But I am totally confident that if you found ones that are similar, of course, you're not going to take like crazy random patterns and try to make them work, but within your what you feel will work together, and then just try to complement the ink. It actually worked out really amazing to me that this was so easy to make this happen and make these match.
So are you gonna do every flower on the page green?
I am, yeah.
Okay. So get inking, guys.
And I guess you don't necessarily have to, but I felt like they were sort of the focal point, and so I wanted them green. And you can feel free to, you know, as we're going through and I'm showing you, you know, we're basically just going to do this one and we're going to rip the edge. So if you don't want to actually assemble your pages as we're doing this craft along, you can feel free to always go back. If you want your flowers a little bit darker, you know, you can add a bit more ink after the fact. So I'm just trying to go through this. So I should have been like one of those baking shows where I have one and have one already finished. But that's not the point of a craft along, right?
Let's do it together.
That's right.
So
I'm not putting I mean, I don't feel like I'm putting a lot of ink on there. I'm just basically wanting the white to be bundled sage.
And like you said earlier, if you just do it one pass through, lay your stuff on and see and decide some areas need to be darker, then you can go back and do that.
Just making sure I'm still on camera here.
You're in frame.
I don't know. I didn't use those other blending brushes, you know, the new style blending brushes. They may work better than these foams. I don't know. This is what I use, so I was sticking with it. I'm sure any style is what is everybody using for blenders. Is all those of you crafting along with me, are you using these wooden ones?
Foams or brushes? Which ones? Let us know.
Because maybe you're going to have an easier job of this. And then what's everybody up to after this Facebook Live, I wonder?
Dagny's using the blending brushes.
Okay, so how's that working?
Is it easier to use those brushes in this larger area? She says it's working great.
Okay, perfect.
Good to know. I love those blending brushes.
I do too.
Dorinda's using the foams.
Awesome. I bet you're getting an arm workout.
So is Lori. Yeah. We all have the foams, right? That's because it's not as new as those brushes.
Well, and I sometimes feel like, I guess the reason I chose the foams is because this was not something I really cared about how it, you know, it wasn't an area where I need to specifically do my shading or my working around. So that's why I wasn't really concerned as to what kind of a blender I was using. If it was one little leaf or one little area on here that I wanted, that would have been a different, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I would have thought differently, but because I knew that nothing over the black would show up anyway, it didn't really matter.
Ooh, Dorinda's going to be making Halloween treat boxes.
Ooh, nice. We were just thinking next month we were going to do a Halloween craft along, so we need to figure that out. Okay, so I'm going to leave mine like this. So you guys just continue to finish up however much inking you decide, okay? But I'm going to leave mine like this for at least for now. So then on the second page, which is this one, we are going to use the pumice stone.
Ooh, she's making them for Rotary Manor. That's going to be nice.
Yeah, you did that last year,
Yeah.
Dorinda. You sweetheart.
I
That's so
know.
nice. So now on this one, I just kind of went more around the edge on this. I didn't do the whole entire page. I just sort of went around the edges.
Ooh, you're out of frame.
Oh, I gotta lean forward here. I'm good there?
Yeah.
Because honestly, the black now matches this pretty good. So I just wanted to add a little bit of ink to this one just to add to the effect of the paper. It probably wouldn't have needed to be done, but I don't know, I'm getting back into that stage. I used to ink and distress the edges of all the papers. It kind of became a fad there for a while, right, Dagny? I'm sure you were in that.
It just adds a little bit extra, I feel like.
It does. And I know I've seen lots of mini albums and things, and when they ink the edge, like, it's amazing.
It
the
just
difference.
transforms
Yeah,
it. It really does. Even just a card. I'll be like, what is this card missing? Ink around the edges.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do 3 sides for now because we're going to rip one edge.
Oh, that's smart. See, less work that way.
So,
How's everyone doing? Are you following along fine? Is
am
it
I
a
going
good
too
pace?
fast?
Dagny inks every time.
I hope this wasn't a brand new good to Matt because I'm getting it all dirty.
It was on the table already, so
Oh, okay, then it must have been
not a
used.
new one. I did not grab it out of the box.
Okay, that's good.
That makes you feel better about
That's
it.
good. It's not a big issue anyway. It's just if I was going to be inking and messing it up, might as well be one that
one.
already had inked on it.
You know, we like to reuse here.
We sure do, because why not?
Why not?
No point of it. I was actually, we went and filled up with fuel. This is kind of a little bit of a story the other day at the Shell station. And you know how when you go to the gas station, there's always like a garbage bin, you know, and a recycle thing. And on their garbage bins, it actually says, instead of trash or garbage, it says landfill. Now, doesn't that make a person think about what they're throwing away?
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Yeah.
So, on this piece, we are going to be ripping about a couple inches off. So, if you want, you can ink in a couple inches on your page,
still
and
have
then when you rip, you still will have that bit of an edge. You don't have to. It doesn't honestly matter. But if that is something where you want that edge and then the rip over top, absolutely. I honestly don't remember. I think I did do that on my original one, so I'm going to do that now.
That gives everyone time to catch up inking with you. So this one is going to run over by a few minutes. That's okay.
Oh, yeah,
Stay with
probably
us.
quite a few minutes.
Quite a few minutes.
I knew this would. It was just because I talked so much at the beginning.
That's all right.
So can everybody see there how I'm inking it?
Even just doing that, you can really see the difference of where you inked it and where
know,
it's
isn't it
not. And it's
crazy?
amazing.
I'm just gonna take and. So let me measure. Yeah, like honestly, the rip's at right about 2 inches. So if you measure in with your ruler, and as long as your ink kind of on this side of the 2-inch mark, because you're going to be ripping on this side, then you're totally fine to do that.
Dorinda says she inks after she tears it, and that's definitely okay too.
Yes.
There's no right or wrong way.
Yes. So I'm gonna rip this now. Now everybody knows how to rip to get the white edge, right? Yes, towards. That's right.
I never knew there was a wrong way to rip. But I guess it depends on what effect you're going for.
Yeah, absolutely. Because sometimes you might want a ripped edge that doesn't have the white in it.
Exactly.
Now, isn't this green so much nicer than that black and white polka dot? So then in your kit, you have this piece of just like a cream colored pattern. So what you're going to need to do is rip this, because I put this on both. I was going to say rip it down the middle, but then of course you're going to have one side that's not. So if you want to just rip one way and then rip the other so that you have the white edge for both, but we're only just sticking this underneath a little tiny bit, so we didn't need to have a whole page of this. So you can go ahead and do that also. So you can rip both your pages and then you can rip this one. And I'm just gonna cut the end off of this one again. This is honestly the most right here is the ripping and the inking, and then the rest should be pretty straightforward because I've provided everybody everything. So I'm just gonna rip this one.
And you still have 5 minutes before it's anyway, so you're doing fine.
Good. If you want, if everybody's kind of on in here, we could draw the prize.
We could.
So then I'm just going to turn mine. So I ripped one way and now I'm just going to turn mine. I'm going to have a little extra, but that's okay. I'd rather give everybody...
Put it in your scrap bin. I'm sure we can figure something out.
I would rather give everybody a little bit too much than not enough, because in case you rip funny or you need to redo it, then you have extra. So this is basically the look you're going for. And then...
So you just stick that under the page.
So then the green cardstock goes with the green paper. Okay. And these, I think I ripped mine. Well, I can do it like that, I guess. I feel like I ripped mine upside down, but that's okay. So this one you can figure out which way you want to lay it, but basically it goes like that, right? And then your craft page is for your black paper. So again, this one you've got to figure out where you want to rip it, because you're going to lose 2 inches, and what do you want to have ripped off? So I think I'm going to go this way, because then I'm only losing this little tiny bit of this rose.
And she just guessed. She didn't measure that 2 inches.
No, but you can if you are that kind of, you can absolutely. I got a little bit wider there at the bottom, but that's okay. And then my other piece. So this is basically the look you're going for. So on the outside edge, these will be lined up. Okay, so your base page to your top page will be lined up, and then this, you just stick it underneath, and you can have it out like as much as it can go out. You can have it like my pages where I left, well, this one I left close to 1 inch onto it. This one was a little bit less. This one's more like maybe 3/4 of an inch. So it just depends on how much of that you want to show. But in saying that, you do want to have the room for your 4x6s and then your little tiny Polaroid frames on the side. So you do want to make sure that overall you have at least 9.5 inches would be the very, very minimum. So 9.5, can everybody know I'm not on? 9.5 takes me right to the edge of that, and then right to the edge of my page. So when you're deciding where to stick your papers on, you want to at least have that 9.5 in order to fit these pictures on there. So once you've figured that out, you can just go ahead and glue that down. And I put my pages, like I said, like this with the rip to the inside. You don't have to. You can absolutely, you can go, you know, one each way, like that. So they're sort of back to back. Or you can have the rips to the outside edge too. So then they'll be like this. And to the outside edges to opposite. So however you decide to do it, it just might mean your layout's a tiny bit different. But so go ahead, you can glue those down if you want, and just use regular,
whatever you prefer.
Your regular adhesive, use your score tape, wet glue, whatever you would normally sort of craft with is all you need to use. So I like a tape runner when I'm doing my regular everyday kind of, oh, that one's, okay, no, not a tape runner. We're gonna use score tape. That's okay. That's okay. We just ran out of that one, but that's okay. I'll use score tape.
You have a removable one.
It's all good.
So Cheryl's asking about ripping.
Yes. What do you need to know, Angie?
Why is there a difference?
Because this paper is patterned on both sides. So when they make the paper, they print the pattern on both sides. So it's just like a regular sheet of paper that's just been printed on. So on the inside of the paper, there's the white core of the original paper. And so when you rip it this way, you get that nice white edge. The piece that I ripped off, you don't get white at all. See? You still can, you just get the paper, which is okay too. And there is sometimes I like that look, and
It's all personal preference
Yeah.
and on what you're making.
but on this one, I just wanted to give it that little extra look. So that's why I wanted the white rip on there, right? And then when you add the second piece with the white rip, it just adds, like, that just looks stunning to me.
It's beautiful.
I just love it. I'll lift it up so that you can then get a better look at the white. So if you rip towards you like this, so you're holding your paper and you're ripping towards yourself like this, you're going to get the white.
If you rip it the other way.
If you rip it backwards, well, I guess you would get it on that, but that might not be the paper you want. So it's easier to figure out where you want it and rip towards you instead of kind of doing it backwards. So I'm just going to assemble this one for right now, and then I'm going to talk to you about how to kind of finish assembling the page, because where are we at here?
We're at 2.
Okay, so don't want to rush too much, but I also don't want to keep you guys here forever either.
Well, I guess I can draw a name for the prize
Yeah.
while she's putting that score tape on there.
Yep.
Shaking it, and I'm shaking it, and I'm shaking it.
And the rule for score tape, once it comes in contact with any other paper, you will never remove it. So be
true.
very patient. Take your time. So I'm gonna actually go for it.
Linda!
Linda, you win the prize. Oh my goodness.
Linda Irving wins the prize
Is
today.
Linda watching?
She was watching.
Okay. So I just gonna, here, I don't want to be off the camera.
She might even be
Still?
participating. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I'm just
Sometimes
gonna
when
kinda-
when we ask them to comment and they're following along, they're so busy following along with us.
Yes.
It's hard to get in the
I know,
comment in
and
there.
sometimes when I'm kind of not really rushing, but so the other reason that I like just a double-sided tape when I'm doing my scrapbooking versus the score tape is because sometimes I don't get things lined up 100%. And this, like a double-sided adhesive, scrapbooking adhesive, will be forgiving, and it'll actually let you peel back up your paper. Score tape, forget it. This is never coming apart without ripping your papers. So, not that that's a bad thing, but this is why I like the double-sided tape runner for scrapbooking, because it gives you that little bit of playtime. And for most of the scrapbooking, it's going to be in an album anyway, so it's not like it's going to be hanging on a wall. It's not like it's going to be the thing that's being touched and flipped and opened and
and
whatever.
you have a
So
page protector over it as well.
Exactly. So go ahead if you want to just follow along and do this one page with me, and then you can go on and do your other one. You can do that, or if you want to do your other one and catch up too, you can do that. So I just included, this is just copy paper that I included in your kits just as a reference for your photo mats. If you choose to use them, use them. If you choose to use other pattern paper or other cardstock or anything else, feel free to do that. It will not hurt my feelings at all. Then in your little baggie, you have all the cute pieces. And these little tidbits were cut from this die set.
From Elizabeth Craft Designs.
I was going to try to figure out how I could use the film strip, but it just didn't work out on this page. But I
love that
I
film
know,
strip.
I love it too. And so this one, does it have it on the back what the name of it is? It just says Planner Film Strip. So I used both of these cutouts. And the only difference is that this one has the little dots around the outside and this one has it right around the inside frame. So it just kind of gives you two different ones. So when I was putting together my pages, the first thing I did was I went through and sorted out my little framelits here. So you'll have framelits that have the little tab on them, and then you'll have framelits that are just the square. So I just kind of go through, sort those out. That's my first step. Okay, so you should have 3 of each. If I counted right, you'll have 3 of each.
Let us know if she didn't count right.
Of course, you'll let me know that, right? So then what I did was can you see me?
Yeah.
I did one with a tab, I did one without a tab, and then I did one with a tab.
So
Okay.
with, without, with.
And then on the other page, I did the opposite, because then you have 2 without and 1 with. So I did the opposite. I did without, with, and without. So you use all 6, and just that small little change up makes you be able to have something a little bit different. I mean, you don't have to do that if you want all tabs on one side and then all non-tabs. Feel free to fly at it and do your own thing. You know it will not offend me at all. I want you to be creative on this. So, saying that, you can also notice that on these cutouts, there's a small variation of color. I don't know if you can see between these two, if I lift them up maybe.
Maybe. Oh, yeah.
This one's a little bit browner, just in overall look, and this one's more of a creamy color, just the way that the paper was variegated. So when I did mine, I also tried to be aware of that and sort of do like a dark, light, dark. That was just my thing. You don't have to do it like that again. And then I did mine over here. And then in your kits, you should also have 4 little squares. And again, maybe you can see sort of the color variation in the squares a little bit. So I sort of took that into consideration, and then I just went sort of randomly placing these along, and then that's sort of my base. Okay, now with these, again, you have inside, outside, outside, inside. So again, if I had one that was sort of a darkish paper color, oops, I maybe probably need to lift this up. So this one's sort of a darker color on there, then I picked a lighter frame to go in it. This is just me really being nitpicky and precise. Honestly, you could just slap them all on there and nobody would even know the difference. So again, I did 2 of one kind and 1 of another.
But we'd like to know how your brain works.
I don't know if you do, but that's okay. Okay, so that's basically my layout with my other 2 4x6s on here, okay? So then when I went to, so these bottom pieces here, except for these little frames, you can glue all that on there. Like once you get them lined up where you want, glue them down, because those are basically just the underneath. And I'll show you my page again so that you can kind of grasp what I'm saying. Right here. So the underneath pieces, these are already glued down. It's just, I wonder if I can, where's my camera on here, right here. So it's just the, oops, back, oh no, this way.
Yeah. Tilt it. Yeah,
there.
perfect.
So it's just these top pieces that have the foam dots on them. Everything else is glued down flat on there. Okay, so it makes like a bit of a page edge just to have those on there. And then when I went to cut out my pictures, I just kind of grabbed some other pictures here just so that I could show you what I did. This is why I asked for you guys to get the Sharpie, because this is, and maybe there's another way that somebody else has figured out how to do this. I don't know, but this is what I did, is I got my Sharpie, and when I decided where I wanted my picture frame to be, you guys can see that, right? Then I just marked it on my Sharpie. Like I just marked the edge of my frame.
On the outside, not the inside.
Yeah, on the outside, just to kind of give my guide me as to where to cut. Okay, grab your trimmer. And honestly, I think almost this is the most important part because it's the most difficult. The rest, what we've done so far, is straightforward. So then I just line up and I cut. Because you do have about 1/4 of an inch here, I kind of cut about 1/8 of an inch in from my line. Right? Because then you could cut it solid. Absolutely you could. But a couple of my pictures I ran into that the picture itself was sort of off center, right? And then so to cut it, I had to adjust the picture and then it was harder to cut, right? So I just mark it, cut it in just a slightly little bit of time so you can see my mark on there, can you? Right there.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
And I cut just a little bit in from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the top, a little bit in, side, just a little bit in, and then the oh, I cut off the tab. See, and that's something you have to watch too, because I marked the bottom and then I cut off my mark. All right, so not to do that. So then what I do is I move down so that I have a little tiny bit of my picture sticking out here. Can everybody see that, or is it too small? I'll hold it up here.
You can see it on the white there.
I'll hold it up a bit. So then I'm just gonna mark there. So this is what, oh, I'll make a bigger mark so everybody can see it. Okay, so then what I did was I just moved my picture down a little bit, and then I actually marked on the inside here. Hopefully you can see that, just where I now need to cut. And it's not a big a deal on the bottom because you have all this space on your frame, right? It's not like you have these tiny little edges. So put that on there, cut. And it's not like you cut once and you can never cut again too. You can go back, right?
You can trim, yeah.
So then there's your little picture in your frame. And then that's when I said use your 1/8 score tape and just go around. See, I'm a messy crafter. Look, I can't find anything already. Okay, so your frame. I'll just show you this one quick what I did. So I took my 1/8 score tape. I wonder if it's better if I go on that. Let's just do that for this. Get rid of this mat, because sometimes the lines and stuff on those mats make it a little bit more difficult. So then I just took my 1/8 score tape. Like I said, quarter will work too. It'll just mean that you have probably some adhesive that isn't covered up by your photo. So 1/4 would for sure work. Don't think you have to have this special 1/8. I'm sure most of you probably do, but 1/4 inch, even wet glue, if you honestly didn't have any score tape, you could use wet glue too. So I just put the glue right close to the cutout. How are we here? We're running behind. I'm trying
That's
to...
all right. You're doing okay.
Anybody questions? Am I going too fast? So then I pick off all my score tape all the way around. Okay. And then...
Make sure your picture's right side
Okay,
up.
so then what I do is I put my picture down and then I line up my frame.
Which is a smart way to do it so you know exactly what's going to be seen.
Right?
Just like that.
Yeah. And then I put my foam dots, pop dots, foam squares, foam tape, however you want to call it. I don't know, it has a lot of different names. I'm actually going to use these bigger ones. And just put, you know, your foam squares on there. And however many you're comfortable with, I feel like this is a smaller thing, so 1 in each corner is probably fine. And then when you get your page back, and of course mine isn't quite put together, so I know you guys are going to have a little bit of craft time after I'm done here, but then you will just... So I just sort of went these little frame bits kind of wonky a little bit, so they're not perfectly straight. You can do that, but you don't have to. So I sort of, you know, kind of went over under like this.
Just bring it up a little bit.
Sorry. Okay, bring it up.
There you go.
Okay, so they're just a little bit random, right? And then you just take your foam dots off. And then I also did these ones random as well. So I didn't line them up with... Can you see the bottom one? Okay. So I didn't line them up with the frames. I did them completely sort of opposite or outside the frames.
So you can see the frame.
Yeah. Just because I thought it gave a little bit more.
Dagny would just like to see your finished pages again.
Yep. That's these right here. So I cut the mat so you have a 1/4 inch mat all the way around the 4x6s, right? Like I said, you don't have to. I kind of mostly did it just because so that you knew in your package where your pictures were going. So you don't even have to use the mats if you don't want to. So here's this one again.
So you'll do that frame process 6 times total.
Yes, exactly.
3 for
or,
each page.
you know, you could also put a stamp.
Oh yeah.
If you wanted to stamp a sentiment or a title or a thing to journal on. You don't have to do the pictures. It worked out good for me because I had a bunch of these little face pictures, so it worked out good. And then I also, when I put these two together, when I finished them, I did try to line up the top lines of the pictures so that when they're open in an album, this makes a clear line across. Same with this, so that these are basically situated the same spot in the page, at least horizontally. No, vertically. At least
Up and
vertically,
down.
yes, that they were sort of situated the same. The rest, I just made sure that I left enough on the edges for this part. So I
So
wasn't
show
asking
that
them.
page.
Yeah, I will show this page again. Look at my handsome boy.
Nah, they're both too cute. And I love his mad face in that one so much. Like, Mom, stop.
All right, so questions, concerns? Should I keep going, or are you guys pretty good to finish this yourself? Was the instruction clear enough? I can also post pictures of this. I know one was probably in the Craft Along kit on the website, but if both weren't on there, I can repost them. I can text them out too, whichever. So I'm just kind of showing you again. The 2 pages together, which I don't really have enough room to do. But yeah. So what's the comments? Are we good?
Yeah, I think so. Is everyone okay with that? Can you complete it from here? Do you need April to show you anything else? Oh, she was a proud great auntie.
Yes, absolutely. Look at this one. We were getting family photos done in this one, and she was so grumpy and cranky the whole time for like an hour. She wouldn't smile, wouldn't smile, wouldn't smile. And then finally the photographer said, "Oh, we're done, and this is what we get." And she was just able to snap one more quick picture of her with her smile. Otherwise, forget it. There was no smiling happening.
Danny said, "This is great, thanks."
Okay, and who else? Lori, you're following along, both Loris, right?
No problem for Lori.
Okay, so you're good to finish along. I guess one last thing to mention is on these little tiny bits, which maybe some of you have already glued down, but I used wet glue, and I used one with a fairly fine tip, and I just put very, very little glue because you don't want it squeezing out. So I actually use this Ultra Bond, which I actually really like. It's kind of similar to a Tombow. It's not near as sticky. I dislike Tombow for its stickiness, and I've used this iCraft Ultimate Bond for quite a while, and so that's what I use. And I just did a tiny, not even the whole entire surface, just a little bit, and then you can actually put it, like rub it with your finger or whatever, and then stick it down. So you could use the score tape on that, I suppose, but I used the wet glue just because I figured for the ease of use, it was the best. What?
You just gotta read it.
Oh, that's nice.
I know.
I'm glad that you're regaining your love of scrapbook pages. It's important. Okay, we can switch back to our faces now. So, everybody, I hope that was good. I'm sorry that it was sort of a half craft along, not the whole thing. But yeah, I've been wanting to get back into scrapbook pages too. You know, that's honestly what got me into this whole industry, and it's kind of where my heart and soul is. So that's why I wanted to do this craft along with,
sure.
with the pages. And I also wanted to show how you can take 2 completely random pages and make them beautiful.
And it did turn out beautiful.
I know. And at the beginning, you're like, nope.
You're like, what are these pages? What is she
They're not
doing
going to
me?
even be close. So congratulations, Linda. You won. Come pick up your prize. Thank you so much, ladies, for watching along again. And we will see you next week.